I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but it's pretty hard to take roots of complex numbers. So if you had 3 plus 4i and you were trying to take the cube root of that, that would be a rather challenging problem. That's one of the places where trigonometric form of a complex number, remember that's, what is it, r cosine theta plus I sine theta, or we use the shorthand r cis theta. That's where this trigonometric form really shines, r being the magnitude, theta being the angle from the positive x-axis. You remember that you have this great rule for powers that works like this. R cis theta to the n is r to the n cis n theta. Magnitude to a power, multiply the degree. The same thing happens for fractions, right? If you're trying to take the nth root of r cis theta, except for there are multiple nth roots. So what you have is you have something that looks like r to the 1 over n, so the real number, you take the nth root of the real number, and then you take cis. Now you might expect that we divide theta by n, which is true, but you also have to add multiples of 360 if you're in degrees, or 2 pi if you're working in radians, okay? And you're going to get multiple solutions out of this, just in the same way that if you had the equation x squared equals 4, you're going to get multiple solutions to this. You'd get -2 and 2 as possible solutions. If we're taking the nth root of a complex number, you can expect to have actually n solutions, not just 2 solutions like this real problem. Okay, so let's look at an example. So let's imagine that I know that z to the 4th equals 16 cis 40. Okay? Well, I want to know what z is equal to. There are actually going to be 4 answers, though. First off, I take 16 to the 1/4 power, that's going to be 2, cis 40 plus 360, okay, to the nth power. Now, what is that? That's actually 2 cis, I guess I should have written in what in is, 10 degrees plus 90k. So, since I could, before I repeat, I could have k equals 0, k equals 1, k equals 2, k equals 3. If I put in k equals 4, I'll have an extra 360 and I'll be back essentially in this case. My answers will actually be 2 cis 10, 2 cis, if that's a 1, 100, 2 cis 190, 2 cis, let's see if I multiply that by 3, I guess I get 280. Those 4 answers, all raised to the 4th power, get me this. Now the easiest one to see is this. If you raise this to the 4th power, right, raise that to the 4th, you get 16. Multiply that by 4, you get there. But let's just see all the rest work that same way. If you raise this to the 4th power, of course that gets raised to the 4th, you get 16. CIS, what happens here? Multiplying that by 4, you get 400 degrees. Well, think about it. 400 degrees is actually ends at the same place as 40 degrees. Just has an extra revolution. So this is actually equal to 16 CIS 40 degrees, which is exactly the thing that we were trying to get. So those 4 are your answers.